Morning, Trey.
Yeah, Lawrence, good morning. High-stakes talks are scheduled this weekend in Islamabad, Pakistan, aimed at creating an agreement to end the war. With the temporary ceasefire in place, international focus remains on the Strait of Hormuz. Overnight, President Trump took to Truth Social to say, quote, Iran is doing a very poor job, dishonorable, some would say, of allowing oil to go through the Strait of Hormuz. That is not the agreement we have. With just 8 vessels reportedly passing through the strait in the first 48 hours of the ceasefire, a statement was released via state media from Iran's new supreme leader saying, quote, and certainly we are entering a new era with management of the Strait of Hormuz. We did not and do not seek war, but we will not give up our rightful rights in any way. And for this, we consider all the fronts of resistance as one. The region is waiting to see the outcome of the talks in Pakistan as Iranian officials and U.S. officials appear to be discussing a different set of terms. Iraq's foreign minister spoke this week about the talks.
We discussed the upcoming negotiation process in Pakistan, and we support and encourage this process. And we hope that the negotiation process will achieve its goals, which are peace and security in the region.
One issue that appears to be a sticking point is whether or not Israel will be able to strike Hezbollah, Iran's largest proxy based in Lebanon. Overnight, Israel struck launching positions in southern Lebanon, and shortly after, Hezbollah launched a rocket that triggered sirens in Tel Aviv.
I want to tell you, there is no ceasefire in Lebanon. We continue to strike Hezbollah with force, and we will not stop until we restore your security. Our great achievements, both in Iran and against the axis of evil, have brought about a historic change in Israel's status in the region.
You heard the Israeli prime minister there. There is no ceasefire in Lebanon. We do know talks are scheduled directly between Israel and Lebanon next week, aimed at creating peaceful relations between the two countries and disarming Hezbollah.
Carlos Delgado.
Excellent choice. Too bad I got him 3 rounds ago.
You're still on the clock.
Oh, shit!
You gotta do something.
Yeah, Hideki Matsui. You just took my whole outfield.
Sorry, Charlie.
What is this? What the f*** is this?
It's our fantasy baseball draft. We said no wives. I told you all about this. Got Matsui. Shit.
Hey, don't let the door hit you in the vagina on the way out. Come on, who's going?
Can we just laugh a little bit? Can everyone calm down? Can everyone just chill out for a second? Calm down. It's politics, okay? There's going to be things you agree with. There's going to be things you disagree with. Are you a 3-time Trump voter? Enjoy the ride. That's what I'm doing, man. It caused a lot of drama on the internet. We try to keep our nose clean, stay out of drama. President Trump went scorched earth on some podcasters last night. We want to stay out of it. We want to stay out of it. We want to stay principled and focused on the mission, which is saving the country for my children. And that's it. Now, we are the subject of some major drama because we started criticizing foreign governments and foreign countries. And for that, I would like to apologize. For absolutely nothing. Because it's my obligation as a free person, as an American, as somebody who loves only my country, to be suspicious of every other nation who presumably loves only their country and wants what's best for their country. Fine. In fact, that's a moral and dignified and defensible position. Criticizing another government, being wary of foreign influence and entanglements, is how we got America in the first place. Your forefathers really didn't like foreign governments so much that they fought wars against them to be rid of them and free of them. And many would argue our most famous forefather, sorry, we don't have the cringe George Washington AI to bring up. George Washington, a wife beater, smoking a zigzag. What do you think? Nope. But we do have this, like George Washington's farewell address, where he says, please, for the love of God, like, don't get involved in other foreign entanglements. The world is a messy place. We got a country to build here. And you should be suspicious, quite frankly, of other countries' morals and what they want to do to this great and rich land. And that's what George Washington said. And I'm like down with that. And I just want to say, as somebody who is America first, who voted 3 times for Trump, who wants Trump to succeed, it is our obligation as people who love this country and love his administration to call balls and strikes. And that's just all we've done. It's gotten us in a bunch of hot water with exactly the people you'd assume. And I don't care because it's righteous and moral. And let me tell you my major motivator here, actually, because loving your homeland doesn't mean you hate other people. It's the opposite of that. It means you want what's best for providentially what God tells you to actually care the most about, which is your children, your family, your neighborhood, your block. And that's my chief motivator. Proverb says, a righteous man and a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. And my only motivation is not hatred of any other country, although it is my right and obligation to question things when I see that they are wrong or when our leaders are being lied to, my president's being lied to. I want to apologize for that. No. My motivation is simply this. Preserve this place for my children. And that's it. I want a peaceful, prosperous, safe, clean America to leave to my children. That's it. So, wanted to pop off the top here because everyone's yelling at us for this clip. Here's the clip. Why not just jump right into it, ladies and gentlemen? Today, of course, is Free for All Friday, April 10th, 2026. We do have a banger of a show for you as J.D. Vance leads peace negotiations. Hunter Biden has fled the country. Steve Hilton and FCC Chairman Brendan Carr will be live on this show. So it's going to be awesome. So let's just rock through this, okay, quickly, because I hate drama. I really do. I don't like drama because it's not about me. I wasn't elected president. Did you see my name on the ballot? Am I president? Am I commander-in-chief? You know, some people would be wise to learn that they're not commander-in-chief. I support President Trump. I still support President Trump. I want him to be successful. I don't want my president to be lied to. And it is my obligation with this humble audience to declare that when I catch other world leaders lying to Trump, disrespecting my president in the White House. It makes my blood boil. So here's what I said, and we're going to unpack this. Here we go. On behalf of other nations. Certainly don't want some other nation to walk into our White House and to lie about an operation to our president. And that's what happened. That's what Israel did here. It's unforgivable as far as I'm concerned. You should never want that. If it were China doing that, Russia doing that, or if it were the UAE or Saudi Arabia walking in and lying to us, and lying to our president, and then getting Americans killed, I would also be rightly furious. So it shouldn't happen anyway. I think that Bibi Netanyahu should be banned from the White House, as far as I'm concerned. Along with any other world leader that behaves in a duplicitous fashion. And Zelensky should be on that. Zelensky should be on that list. We can go there, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the article that I was talking about in that clip. That's a now viral clip. It's going berserker mode all across X. And I want to just unpack this quickly. The New York Times, ladies and gentlemen, has I know you're going to say, the New York Times. Listen, go read it yourself. All right? I'm just going to read you the words. You can decide what you will. But with the detail, first off, these are the two Trump stenographers. Trump has given exclusives to these reporters before. He sat down with these reporters before. He knows these reporters before. I'm not saying Trump leaked all this. I'm saying that these are that they are the Trump stenographers at the New York Times. They're the stalkers, practically, of President Trump at the New York Times. It ain't been perfect, but the exquisite detail of this piece begs the question, how did these reporters get access to all of this? And you'd have to assume it's somebody that is working on retelling the story from inside of the White House. That's what I assume. I don't know. But the detail is precise, down to the placement of where everyone was seated. The White House also has not come out against this report. White House regularly nukes from space. Fake news, and righteously so. But they haven't done that to this report. And what does this report show? I'm just going to give you the top line, and then the link is up on my social media. You can read it for yourself, okay? I'll never, ever tell you again to read the New York Times. My goodness. I mean, the number of people who've come after me for this. Here's the top line, is that Bibi Netanyahu went into the White House and gave faulty intel to Trump. Did he know he was lying? Were they actively lying? Doesn't matter. Like malevolence or ignorance, at some point, is totally indistinguishable. It doesn't matter. It was wrong information. Marco Rubio, Trump asked our own intelligence agencies to run all of Bibi's information and to assess it. And here's what the CIA director came back with. This is farcical, Mr. President. Scroll down to that. It's a giant black word, farcical. John Ratcliffe said, it's farcical. It's not true. Well, the information he gave you about the Iran war and how it's going to go down is not true. You'll find it, Klein. Just scroll through. There you go. It's not. That's what our CIA director said. What did Marco Rubio say? I support Marco Rubio. I really like Marco Rubio. He's such a sharp cookie in the White House. He said it's total bullshit. That's what Rubio said. What about Raisin Cain? Don't we love Dan Raisin Cain, the Joint Chiefs of Staff? I certainly do. He's an American hero. Dan Raisin Cain says, listen, this is standard operating procedure for the Israelis. They exaggerate. Their plans are not well developed, he says. Perfect. Thank you, Klein. And they oversell. They're hard selling you because they want a war with Iran. I'm not saying Trump is I'm not saying Trump went in like some sweet summer child. Trump made a decision based on our intelligence assessment to take out 2 objectives out of 4. The 2 objectives was kill the Ayatollah and extremely grind to powder Iran's ability to project power and make war in the region. And they accomplished that. Trump accomplished that. That's what the article says. He went in clear-eyed about those 2 objectives. But Bibi's other objectives, saying, oh, we can topple the regime. We have some goofball in Bethesda, Maryland, who will suddenly be the new warlord of Iran. That's silly. That was bad intel. And I don't like my president getting bad intel. You shouldn't either, because American lives are on the line. And that's critically important. You should demand, in fact, that world leaders who come to the White House give the dignity and respect of giving a good and accurate and precise information, especially when American treasure, lives, political will is on the line. Like that is the America First position. That is a logical position. That's the position of a patriot. And so that's what I said. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Not apologizing for anything. That's what's in the article. A couple of interesting things of note in the article. Trump went in clear-eyed. It's not like saying that Trump's an idiot or anything. Trump went in clear-eyed with the 2 objectives he wanted to accomplish. And so when Trump says, I've accomplished my objectives, he did. The article says those are the 2 things he wanted to do. And that is exactly what we did. Degraded their military down to practically powder. They have no Navy, no air control, no ground control. We can build forward operating bases deep in enemy territories and go get our pilot. Okay. And then kill the Ayatollah and like a couple strata down of Iranian leadership. Boom, that's what happened. Okay. J.D. Vance, totally and completely against this war. That's the other big takeaway from this article. J.D. Vance was like, no, we should not be going to this war. We should not be doing it. And J.D. Vance was like, straight up, like, but if you want to do it, we should get it over as quickly as possible because there's a lot of dangers here. And then, it goes through the detail. It goes through the thought process. I think it's fascinating. It goes through the thought process of everybody in the Trump administration. It makes me love the Trump administration even more. It seems like the thinking here was clear, and President Trump simply made a decision based on his gut. And you get good Trump with bad Trump, don't you? If you voted for Trump, then you voted for the guy that's been saying since the 80s he wants to bomb the shit out of Iran. That's exactly what he said. He said that like 1 million times. Those exact words. So anyway, that's it. Okay, take it for what it is. The White House has not denied this report. They haven't come out and called it all fake news. And I'm just going to pivot off this and say, for those of you who think that I'm like, oh, how dare you pick on Israel? You're so mean to Israel. Anti-Semite. like every single thing you could possibly say, you know. Did you have the same problems when it was Zelensky? Because I have these clips. We don't have time to play them, but I have these special clips from like about 16 months ago of Zelensky going to the White House, lying his ass off to Trump. You will feel it. You will feel. And Trump was just like, bam! And they smashed him, right? You don't have the cards. Look at them both. You don't have the cards.
We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no position to dictate that. Remember this. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
Feel influenced.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
Okay. You will feel. Trump, you don't have the cards. And that's true. And he didn't. And he was in there lying. And I didn't like it. And I raged about it at the time. So I'm an equal opportunist when it comes to criticizing foreign governments that come in and that either manipulate or lie or don't give correct and accurate information to my president. And that is a morally defensible position to have if you love your country. This is my only country. I don't have another passport. This is all I got. It's all my children's got. So I'm going to defend it, and I'll call balls and strikes. Okay? If that hurts your feelings, then you should like take a big step back and ask yourself why. Like why? These are totally logical positions to have. Just want to play one more thing before we get to this spectacular chairman of the FCC, Brendan Carr. A clip that isn't very famous, but is critically important, of J.D. Vance explaining what the role of the Trump administration is. Here we go.
Because one person or 10 people or 100 people came in legally and contributed to the United States of America, does that mean that we're thereby committed to let in 1 million or 10 million or 100 million people a year in the future? No, that's not right. We cannot have, I'll go and finish. We cannot have an immigration policy where what was good for the country 50 or 60 years ago binds the country inevitably for the future. There's too many people who want to come to the United States of America, and my job as vice president is not to look out for the interests of the whole world. It's to look out for the people of the United States.
Boom. There it is. Boom. Boom. My job, your job as a patriot, is not to look out for the interests of the whole world. Your job as a patriot is to look out for the interests of your country, of the United States. Now, J.D. Vance was talking, of course, about open borders, but the principle applies. J.D. Vance is on a plane right now to go negotiate peace. You can see here's the update. J.D. Vance warns Iran not to play us. Says he's going to go negotiate peace with Iran. That's awesome. I cheer that on. I pray for the Trump administration. I come alongside of them and fight with them. I want America first. And President Trump out this morning saying the world's most powerful reset. Good. I like this energy, ladies and gentlemen. The world's most powerful reset. Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, somebody who fights alongside of the president all the time in a very important arena, which is, of course, the arena of truth and accuracy, good reporting, and responsible broadcast, is the great chairman, Brendan Carr of the FCC. He joins us live right now. Mr. Chairman, I just had to get some things off my chest, but I just love America a lot, and I know you do too.
So good to be with you. Really great to join you. Good to be with you, Benny.
So, Mr. Chairman, a couple quick things. You had a very fiery response to CNN that published a 10-point fake piece of Iranian propaganda about what President Trump signed onto. They eventually deleted the post, but then defended it by saying, the Iranian regime gave us these points to publish, which I think is duplicitous, quite frankly, journalistically. I would never let an Iranian sneak into my studio and slip me papers to read on air. But CNN thinks it's totally cool. What's going on here?
Well, what's interesting about this story is CNN ran this headline that said Iran basically claims victory, and that was not at all the statement that Iran had itself put out. I mean, obviously, President Trump, has been winning unbelievably over there and to say Iran claims victory isn't right. If you actually look at the actual statement from Iran, which President Trump himself posted, it was very different than that. And I think perhaps maybe CNN got a statement from some component of the Iranian government, but that's like having Elizabeth Warren put out a statement and having someone run a headline saying, United States claims X. There's all kinds of weird people over there that can claim all sorts of things. But when you're in such a sensitive moment in this middle of this combat, I think it's important to be very clear about where these statements are coming from. Look, CNN is cable. They're not broadcast. They don't have a license or a public interest obligation. But I still think it's important for all of us to express our views on this.
Yeah, to push back. CNN's taken like Iranian TV broadcasts like for minutes on end during all of this. It's been peculiar. It's been very strange. Didn't the Iranian government let a CNN reporter go like deep into Iran to do like coffee shop videos? I like saw those clips, man. It was weird.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very strange. Okay. So there's not going to be any FCC action on this, however. Just like
they're cable, so they don't have a license. Yeah, they don't.
Yep.
Yeah, they don't have a license from the FCC, unlike broadcast. But on the broadcast side, I mean, look, we've been working really hard to reinvigorate the public interest standard. We have a lot of investigations going. We have enforcement actions going right now on The View and on other Disney actions that we're looking at. And what I've said before is really true is, President Trump is fundamentally reshaping the entire media ecosystem. And people misunderstand it when I say that. They think it's, Trump nefariously calling people up and firing him. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is President Trump ran directly at the fake news media. It was a emperor has no clothes moment for them. And people realize, we don't have to just buy the false fake narratives that the legacy media is doing. And once President Trump succeeded in doing that, then all these consequences naturally flow as a business matter. You get journalists, fake news journalists losing jobs left and right. And all these things are happening. And it's not because Trump is calling up and getting people fired, but it's because he's called out the fake news. I mean, heck, even today I saw the Vatican called out U.S. news outlets for being fake news, for running a false story about a Department of War meeting. And so even the Vatican, the Pope, is calling out America's fake news. It's quite something. But again, this all flows from President Trump, but again, not for the reason people think. And there's more to do, but we're heading in the right direction.
So the Vatican, for extremely unhappy left-wing single women sitting at home in the middle of the day, is The View, and they tune in religiously. And this has been a show that we obviously love because it provides an enormous amount of hilarity and content for us. But you're not laughing at all, as the FCC here has opened an enforcement action against The View over Democrat James Tallarico's interview. Can you unpack this for us, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah, so Congress long ago passed a regulation, equal time, equal opportunity. So if you're going to have one political candidate on, you have to offer comparable time and placement to others, because Congress didn't want media gatekeepers deciding the outcome of elections. They wanted individual people to do that. Now, there's an exception to that rule for things that are called bona fide news programs. And Congress had in mind things like the old school Meet the Press. Now, flash forward to today, and every broadcast TV show apparently thinks that they're bona fide news, including The View. The View, Disney's product, is literally asserting that they are a bona fide news program and therefore do not have to comply with equal time. And we have launched an enforcement matter in that. We have welcomed them to file a petition with the FCC to try to obtain bona fide news status. And if they do that, we're going to take a look at it. But I think it shocks a lot of people to think that Disney's The View is itself bona fide news. And we'll see how this enforcement investigation plays out.
What about the balance on The View? I mean, is it, it's given the fact that this is a publicly licensed broadcaster, I mean, having a table full of 5 shrieking left-wing women agitating and campaigning against the president every chance they get, telling lies about the president, on Epstein Island and so on, as they've done, getting handed a note every 7 seconds, right, by their lawyers for corrections. I mean, is this something that ABC should be really broadcasting?
Well, part of the bona fide news analysis asks, and this is just in FCC case law for decades, is, are you motivated by partisan political purposes in the production of the program? And so when The View comes forward either on its own or part of our investigation, that's what we're going to look at. We also have a policy at the FCC for broadcasters that goes to conflict of interest. So if you have a personal political conflict of interest on a matter that you're covering on a program, our rules say that you should disclose that. We're not saying you can't, be politically active, but in terms of, transparency being the best disinfectant. So we're also taking a look at, do we need to reinvigorate the FCC's personal political conflict of interest policy with respect to broadcasters, and we'll see where that goes.
Okay. What say you about Colbert? He's rounding the corner on his final show here. He obviously had multiple temper tantrums against Trump, the Trump administration, and now he's, I guess, being banished to writing a Lord of the Rings or something like that no one's going to watch. What say you on Stephen Colbert, Mr. Chairman?
Well, look, I think it's got to be a tough time emotionally for people like Colbert and Kimmel. They're used to being at the top of the media game and apparently having a lot of people care what they think, but clearly those days are in the rear view mirror. And so that's got to be a tough time for them. But look, it's just not popular with people. And I think it's great that these broadcasters now are responding to their viewers, and hopefully they'll get something on that's actually either entertaining or funny or actually informative.
And then a final question for you, Mr. Chairman, about something that bubbled up a month ago, the Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime show. I know there were multiple people calling on you, members of Congress calling on you to investigate that for profanity, because when you translate the actual words that Bad Bunny was singing, they were quite profane. And some of the actions, obviously, that were being broadcast and displayed were quite grotesque as well. Obviously, this was a failure of a halftime show. But is there any update on that? Will there be any action against the NFL or the Super Bowl for that?
Well, originally, people thought that there couldn't potentially be even the possibility of FCC rule violations because the singing was done in Spanish. But there's no Spanish language exemption in the FCC's rules. So if you violate, profanity, indecency, obscenity, whether it's Spanish or English, there's something there. One of the issues that we saw when this was raised was a lot of people were pointing to the traditional lyrics in those songs, which probably would have been an issue, but there was a lot of changing of the actual lyrics when you look at the transcript itself. But again, I think it's more fundamentally, is this really a popular thing? If you're a broadcaster, is this the type of thing that is family-friendly viewing for the Super Bowl? It's gotten really weird over the years.
Yeah, it really has. I'm pushing for the full country music show like next year. We will win when it's Kid Rock and Dolly Parton.
Yeah, the Turning Point stuff was awesome. That was a fantastic show. That was much better.
Well, thank you. We had a small part in that, and we appreciate that, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, thank you so much for your work on this. I don't think anyone has ever seen a more active FCC. You can see the results of it in more fair reporting, and that's all we've ever asked. Everybody follow the FCC Chairman, Brendan Carr. Here he has 200,000 followers. Godspeed, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks. Good to see you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Steve Hilton lined up and locked in and ready to go. We are jumping over to Steve Hilton. We know he's on a tight schedule, so please welcome the leading candidate for California governor right now, Republican, our dear friend, Steve Hilton. Steve, hey, welcome back to the program. Congratulations on the Trump endorsement.
How amazing was that? What an Easter Sunday it was for me. Absolutely incredible. What an incredible honor. And actually, the other thing I just want to convey to you and everyone watching and listening, Benny, is not just the fact of it and the fact that it's going to be such a boost going into our California Republican Convention, which is happening this weekend in San Diego, of course, into the primaries, so we can be a united party and then take the fight to whichever unbelievably unimpressive Democrat they send to run against me. We'll get to that in a second. But the positive thing is this. The president and I had a wonderful conversation about the incredible opportunity, not just for California, but for our whole country, if we get to that beautiful scenario where I'm elected in November, take office next January, and then you're going to have the biggest state in our country, by far the biggest economy of all the 50 states. The leadership of that state, instead of endlessly fighting the president and his team when they are trying to do common sense things, that we will be working together to open up energy production. We have massive oil and gas reserves in California to do forest management. We have enormous forests that can harvest timber that we can use in our country to find and stop the fraud, as you've been reporting. We are the epicenter of the fraud, bigger than all other states combined. We're going to be working with the vice president and the task force to stop it and prosecute it, to enforce our immigration laws in California. We have the largest number of illegal immigrants. Wherever you look, it's going to be transformational for not just California, but all of our wonderful country.
Yeah, okay, so there's so many different places to start with this, but let's just jump right in. Gavin Newsom going viral again, getting ratioed for claiming credit for fixing the fraud in California. It's pathological. So guys like me go to California. Guys like Nick Shirley go to California. We do our best to uncover fraud, but like you're just a YouTuber. He called Nick Shirley a predator. He made a meme about Nick Shirley being some type of like predator or creep, like hunting for children. It's completely and totally grotesque. I mean, he attacked everybody who comes there to cover fraud. And then now that they're doing mass arrests and uncovering what you've uncovered, which is hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars in fraud, he's claiming credit. Here's the tweet. I can't believe it's true, Steve. California is leading the charge against large-scale identity theft and hostage fraud. Your response?
You are right. It's pathological. The level of lying and the shamelessness of the lying, the brazen speaking things that everyone can see. It's not just not true. It's the direct opposite of the truth. It is pathological. There's something really wrong with someone who's able to behave like this. And of course, it's just so shameful when it's our money that's been stolen. And many of these are federal programs. So it's taxpayers across the country that have been completely ripped off by Gavin Newsom for all these years and the Democrat machine. Remember that this fraud, some of it is individual people who are stealing it to benefit themselves personally. And Bill Asaley, my friend who's the U.S. attorney, doing a fantastic job on behalf of President Trump and the federal administration prosecuting fraud. Sometimes it's individuals stealing it. But more often than not, this is what we've revealed through Cal Doge. The money that's been stolen by Gavin Newsom from California and national taxpayers is going to finance their political machine. That's where it's going. It's not just buying luxury vacations or whatever for individual criminals. The majority of it is going to Democrat groups, activists, the unions for voter registration, and Democrat political activity to entrench their power. Taxpayer money. I mean, it's absolutely sick. And we need to see prosecutions of the politicians, the politicians, because this cannot be allowed to go unpunished. Newsom and all these Democrats stealing taxpayer money to finance their political machine.
Just to dig down a little lower, deeper, a level deeper there, Steve, because you say that it's going to finance them and their political operations. James O'Keefe proved that right here. And I know you've seen it. I know you've commented on it. I know you've worked with James in exposing how they're using the homeless that we went out to cover, the homeless industrial complex, in order to get all of their petitions signed. This is critical, by the way, to get anything done in California. And this is a great example of what you just said. Like, it's an on-camera example of what you just said. Exactly. That's total and complete fraud on camera. Is this what you're alluding to, or is there more, Steve?
100%. This is a real on-camera example, and he kind of closed the loop, as it were. And I met with James that weekend when he was doing this incredible work. And so you and I saw the front end of it, where you see the fake homeless service provider, where there's nothing there, just a sort of parking lot with a porta potty, and that's it. So that's where the money was not being spent. And then James provides the other end of it. That's where the money is actually going, cash handed out through non-profits that are supposed to be working to help the homeless, actually getting them to sign up for ballot initiatives and even to register to vote under fake names and fake addresses. I'll give you another example that we found at Cal Doge. This is $1 billion since 2015 that was supposed to have been spent through part of their climate nonsense on installing solar panels on low-income apartment buildings, right? 100 million every year since 2015. We looked into it. Total amount of money actually spent on solar panels, 72 million. 928 million, nearly all of the billion, actually went to Democrat groups doing exactly what James filmed there: voter registration and activism in the communities that were supposed to be getting solar panels. It's just completely corrupt. Like, this is absolute banana republic level corruption from Gavin Newsom and the Democrat machine. And you and James O'Keefe and Nick Shirley, and we are exposing it, and we're going to shut the whole rotten, corrupt enterprise down.
And you promised to prosecute the politicians who benefited.
100%. And that's really important. I'm running for governor. It's not just me. I've got a whole ticket running with me, a slate of candidates, including for Attorney General, a fantastic fighter called Michael Gates. He was the city attorney in Huntington Beach, great, where I launched my campaign. He fought Gavin Newsom in that position. He sued Newsom over housing mandates, voter ID, the sanctuary state law, and now he's running with me for Attorney General. And we have absolute clarity that we're going to find the fraud, stop it, and prosecute and put these people in jail. And by the way, if I need to build more prisons to house the fraudsters, that's going to happen as well. We are not going to let them get away with it.
You love to hear it. You probably will, frankly, need to, or you can work with the Trump administration to deport the ones that are illegal, and we were able to find an enormous amount of that. That's what all the homeless shelters are for, right? They're just places to hide from ICE, and it's repulsive. It's truly grotesque. I can't believe your day to day wading through this filth and sludge and sewage. I just can't believe it. The temerity that you have, and I'm just talking about Eric Swalwell and his dating history. That's all I'm talking about there. What's going on there? I know it's allegations. I'm well aware, but we've been talking to some people on the left, and they say this is real as a heart attack for Eric Swalwell. What's happening here, Steve?
We've been hearing it for months from multiple different sources, and it's astonishing to me that despite that, it felt as if the Democrat machine was moving behind Eric Swalwell to support him. He got the endorsement of the SEIU, the two big unions. The SEIU, the teachers' unions, endorsed him for governor, tens of $1 millions flowing his way to try and put him in there as their puppet. They don't care, actually. All their lectures about, gender equality and women's rights and Me Too and all the rest of it, they don't care. It's all BS. They just want their puppet, and they're not. And this is the arrogance of this Democrat machine in California. 16 years of one-party rule. They have complete contempt for the voters. They lie. They are total hypocrites. They don't believe in nothing except their own power. So they're perfectly fine to go along with someone with these allegations. We'll see if he continues. But I mean, who else have we got to choose from? I mean, look, you've got, as the president would say, as we discussed, they're not sending their best. You've got Swalwell. You've got Katie Porter. You got the self-hating billionaire climate fanatic, Tom Steyer. That's it. Those are your choices for governor from the Democrats. There you are. I'm leading. I'm on 22%, and there's Swalwell on 18%. By the way, that was a poll commissioned by the unions supporting Eric Swalwell. And then they put out a social media post, Swalwell personally, saying, I'm leading the race. He meant he's leading against the other Democrats. He literally took me off the top and just put a graphic, that exact one that you're showing, with me removed from the top, from his own poll. These people are just unbelievable.
So if these allegations play out, and if in fact Eric Swalwell has this deluge and avalanche of credible allegations against him from all of these young women who work for him, which is what's bubbling up right now, which is what's being talked about right now, should he drop out?
Well, of course he should, especially, as I say, after all their lectures for years, including from him, about these issues, because it's just total brazen hypocrisy. But they have no shame. They have no shame at all. They have no principles. They have no morals. It's just about power. And remember, with Swalwell, he already ran for president once. That was a fiasco. Why is he running for governor of California? He doesn't even live here. His home is in Washington, D.C. He doesn't even live in California. And yet he's running for governor. Why? Because it's about power. He just wants to run for president again. And so it's just a bump in the road as far as he's concerned.
What's been made of that? Because I saw the reports that his home was tied to some law office. You know, it's like, here's my residence. It's a law office, like where his lawyer is.
Yeah,
like a PO box.
The California Post reported they went there to speak to the neighbors of his home. Have you ever seen? They've never seen Eric Swalwell. He's never been there. It's just a room in some building. His wife and his family is in Washington, D.C. Fine, he's in Congress. I understand you want to be. That's fine, but then don't run for governor of a state you don't even live in. It's a joke.
Yeah, so he might be disqualified. Who knows?
Who knows with these people?
Maybe he should be disqualified by his own actions. But it will boggle the mind to see how the actual vote share shakes out. We'll see what happens with Eric Swalwell. It's very, very interesting. I mean, it's amazing how these people have the capacity to self-immolate and light themselves on fire. But then the hubris to just keep going.
Just keep going.
Yeah. Final question, Steve. Have you what are you going to do with the high-speed rail? What are you going to do with that special nature bridge that would bring all the cougars into the suburban neighborhood with cats and dogs? What are you going to do when you're governor with us?
The butterfly bridge.
Yes.
The bridge for butterflies, very important. Got to have that in California. Meanwhile, we have the worst roads in the country, like 50th out of 50 states for the quality of our roads. The thing I say, Benny, about high-speed rail, which, by the way, their actual official plan, they just admitted they need another $125 billion to finish it. And even on their own plan, the final stage of it from Bakersfield to LA is a bus. That's the actual plan. They're not even talking about finishing it with trains. It's a high-speed bus. By the way, not so high speed.
No.
LA traffic. No, it's true. And sometimes that trip from Bakersfield to LA, we do it many times. That can take 2.5 hours when you're going in a car or bus. So they were saying originally it was 2.5 hours from San Francisco to LA. Now it's 2.5 hours on the final leg on a high-speed bus from Bakersfield to LA. These people is just unbelievable. So the line I always use at my events and my town halls is, yeah, of course, I'm going to stop that thing in its tracks. Except they haven't laid any tracks, so I can't even do that.
What a night. What a nightmare. Steve, we're just so proud to have been we support you. Obviously, we support, honestly, the saving of this great land. It is a beautiful state. If you break it down to its core elements, it's a state that you shouldn't abandon. It's a state with so many gifts from God. It's a crown jewel of America. We're thankful for good men standing up and fighting. Everybody support the #1 leading candidate for governor in California, the man who can win, Steve Hilton. He's got hundreds of thousands of followers. Follow him here and support him in California and vote for Steve Hilton.
Thank you, Benny. So great to be with you. See you soon.
Godspeed. Ladies and gentlemen, the Golden State of California. Gold for a reason. There was a lot of gold in California. I'm not sure how much gold is left in California. I think they got a lot of gold in California. You should get gold in your portfolio. Advantage Gold is how we make sure that we have a hedge in our portfolio against the insanity of up and down markets and booms, busts, collapse. Gold stays steady, and it's done really well, honestly. The reason for that, obviously, is all of every economy is based on scarcity. And you should invest in precious metals just a little bit. And it's done great for me. So this is my advice to you. Text Advantage Gold by texting Benny to 85545 right now. That's Benny, Benny, to 85545 right now. You'll instantly get a gold investment kit. Don't wait while the gold rally keeps breaking records. And speaking of breaking, Patriot Mobile never breaks when we are on the road. Patriot Mobile keeps us locked and loaded. You know, they've been a longtime sponsor of this program. They're partners with us. Not even sponsors, actually. We use their devices. We use their network. And we report to you on it. It's something, just like everything that we talk about on the program here, we actually use it ourselves. We either eat it or function on it, or like have it as a tool in our toolkit. And this is it, ladies and gentlemen. They deliver premium priority access on all 3 major U.S. networks. They're 100% U.S.-based. Customer service team can get you swapped over today. The only Christian conservative wireless provider, patriotmobile.com/Benny. Call 972-PATRIOT. Use promo code Benny for a free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/Benny. 972-PATRIOT today. Okay, speaking of foreign governments, Hunter Biden, who never met a foreign government enemy of America they wouldn't take money from, like Ukraine, Russia, or Algeristan, whatever the hell. Like, how many bags were delivered to the Biden family through Hunter Biden? He gone. 17. Hunter Biden has fled the United States of America. He's living overseas. He claims he's $17 million in debt. He can't pay his lawyers. So why not just leave? He will return, however, for a cage match between Eric Trump and Don Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, who would win? Here you go.
Okay, guys, Hunter Biden here. I just got a call from Andrew Callahan. He asked me to come out on the Channel 5 Carnival Tour at the end of the month. I think we start in Phoenix, and then we go to San Diego, and we end in Albuquerque. And I think he's trying to organize a cage match, me versus Eric and Don Jr.
Brilliant.
I told him I'd do it, 100% in, if he can pull it off. And if he can't, I'm still coming. And I think he's got a lot of other surprises up his sleeve, a lot of fun. And I hope I can see you guys out there. You can get tickets online right now, and I'll see you out on tour.
Okay. Oh man. Okay. What is the take on the state of American politics? Have we become idiocracy? And is that a bad thing?
Never go full retard.
Like, no. Okay, hold on. Take a giant reverse step back. Let's look at this in its most positive light, because it's Friday, it's Free for All Friday, and we're feeling good this morning. In its most positive light, isn't this what our ancestors would want? Go back to the tribal ancestors from whence you came. Take a moment. Get in touch with the ancestors that built Stonehenge, right? It's you, Stonehenge, a loincloth, right? A club. What would your ancestors demand? Your ancestors would demand that those who control the tribe, that their sons fight to the death. Wouldn't that be like the way to settle things? Have the king's children fight to the death. Good. Okay. Yeah, good. Okay. Right. Big. Chris Nolan, music. Have them fight to the death. Wouldn't that be what you want? Isn't that in your bones? Isn't this a good thing? Shouldn't we should embrace this. I know Eric and Don. I don't know Hunter Biden. We should totally be for. I'm totally down. Totally down. I am tangential friends with Dana White. I've been able to, like, at least like when I get invited to UFC stuff, I can see him, be friendly with him. I should suggest it. Why not? The children of the king, let them fight. Let them fight for the kingdom. Dude, that would be awesome. Is it Eric and Don Jr. versus Hunter Biden? Alone? Who would win that, Klein? Klein's a big-time UFC guy. He's crazy. They're outdoorsmen. They're good shooters. Yeah, that's right. They might not look it, but they're athletic. Eric is freakishly tall. Eric's like 6'5", a big dude. Don Jr. is like a big wilderness guy and like a big hunter and big outdoorsman. Dude, Hunter Biden does have like sort of that crackhead energy, right? You know, so it's like he's like wily. So I'm not sure you'd know exactly. Yeah, it's not sure. He's wily. So I guess he's not sure. I don't know. Does Hunter get his laptop? Is that like a tool? Is it him plus the laptop from hell? Right? Yeah. Does he get a hit of the crack rocks in between rounds? That's right. He left all his baggies of cocaine at the White House, Klein. Okay, they're all at the White House. So You know, he's hard up. Yeah. I would be for it. But will it actually happen? Apparently, he has fled the nation. The court filing bluntly states that Mr. Biden lives abroad and argues that the first son cannot afford to pay off his outstanding fees. And the law firm, the defendant Hunter, and his tax and gun crimes and other legal battles claims that he failed to pay his bills in excess of $50,000. Podcast appearance, he said he was $17 million in debt. Woof. Okay. The Biden family spokesperson declined to comment to the Daily Mail and did not specify where in the world Hunter Biden lives. But it's not America. Okay. Got it. Gotcha. All right. I would totally wish to recruit for this fight. I think it'd be great. I think it'd be good for. Oh, look, there's the cage match. Huh. Is that Eric Trump? He's way taller than that. But like, yeah. There you go. Okay. Here's the actual. Okay, that's the actual cage match. Okay, we're generating cage match images of the Bidens. The Trump. I think it'd be good. I was disappointed, and I know ALX was the most disappointed about the Elon versus Mark Zuckerberg fight. We still don't have any, like, can somebody run an AI on that? Who would have won that? Elon or Zuckerberg? Zuckerberg's in training, bro. But Elon's also freakishly tall. Big dude. I don't know. I would love to recruit for this fight. ZipRecruiter is what I use to recruit when I'm looking for top talent. We've been on a hiring spree around here. We're changing some things around here. We're building a new studio. We are building out a number of new products we're very excited about. Ladies and gentlemen, when you are building, use ZipRecruiter to recruit. If you're hiring, well, this is the platform that will get you resumes and applications faster than anywhere on earth. The most interested and qualified candidates you will see first. It helps sort through all these resumes. That takes forever. You can try it for free right now at ZipRecruiter.com/Benny. I've used it myself to hire at this company. Again, we've made 5 hires this week. We're really excited about it. Ladies and gentlemen, ZipRecruiter gets you cut through sort of the standard resumes and applications, get right to the standouts. 4 out of 5 employers use ZipRecruiter. They find a quality candidate within the first day. You can try it now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Benny. ZipRecruiter.com/Benny. Okay, meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Not sure if it works as a dating app, but, you know, it's none of my business. Never been on any of these dating apps, right? Very happy to have sort of avoided that whole. I'm very happy to have avoided. Talked to a young person today. You know, it's like, it seems like a mess. I met my wife the old-fashioned way, right? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what for the good of the country and world shall we do here? JD Vance on Peace Talks. This is going to be the big news of the weekend. So why don't we leave our show with this? JD Vance saying, well, here's what's going to happen. I'm heading to Pakistan, Islamabad, and I'm going to go. Hopefully things will end up bad with these peace talks, but here he goes.
We're looking forward to the negotiation. I think it's going to be positive. We'll, of course, see. As the President of the United States said, if the Iranians are willing to negotiate in good faith, we're certainly willing to extend the open hand. If they're going to try to play us, then they're going to find that the negotiating team is not that receptive. So we're going to try to have a positive negotiation. The President has gave us some pretty clear guidelines, and we're going to see. So I hope you guys have a safe flight. We'll certainly take some questions later on. But for now, let's get on the plane and hit the road. Thank you all.
There he goes. All right. Just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, when President Trump goes, you don't have the cards, you don't have the cards. That what happened next was this. After Zelensky got sort of his little beat down here at the White House, what happened next was Zelensky showed up in a suit. And all of the various criticisms that we had against Zelensky, that things changed a bit. They got ship shape, right? This is what you should want from world leaders. This is what you should want for your government. You should want respect. You should want circumstance, pomp, but above all else, you should want honesty when there are lives on the line, when there are big decisions to be made. when there are fortunes to be dashed against the rocks or upheld, when there are entire nations, peoples, and civilizations at hand, you need our president to, one, have all the right and correct intelligence, and then two, as we believe as Christians, to have prayer and to be calm, to be at peace. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will inherit, for they will be called the children of God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God. Trump orders Benjamin Netanyahu to calm down. ALX, can I call for one more exciting clip? Can I get the they don't know what the F they're doing clip? This is about Trump and Israel last year. Israel, Iran, got like bashing up against each other. A ceasefire deal gave us one of the most more legendary Donald Trump moments. Sorry, that was my coffee here. One of the most legendary Donald Trump moments. Give me that. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Trump says, Bibi, calm down. Right? Please. Remember, he got Zelensky to wear a suit talking like this. We'll see. What is this? What is this? The throwback. Here we go.
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too. Are you questioning if Israel is committed? Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because of one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Pray for our president, please. Pray for our president. I support Donald Trump. I want the best for Donald Trump and his administration. We will remain supporting President Trump. We will not throw a temper tantrum. We will not light ourselves on fire. We will not be telling you to vote Democrat. We will not be joining with the left to destroy this country. There have been huge wins in this administration, and we are going to continue to back our president. Three-time Trump voter here. Enjoy the ride. And also enjoy your weekend here in the greatest country on earth. Okay? Like, sometimes it's good to just log off a little bit. I'm going to be doing that this weekend. Just log off. Just log off. And read your Bible. Romans 12:19. Do not take revenge, my dear friends. Leave room for God's wrath. For it is written, mine is to revenge. I will repay, saith the Lord. Yes. That's tough. I mean, it is tough. This is a tough one for men. This is probably the least. This is like the most hated verse of the Bible for men, right? Men love revenge. I want to see the sons of the kings fighting to the death. Yeah, I want to see it. Yeah, revenge. But this is what the scriptures are. The scriptures are not about calling us to be the lowest form of ourselves, but calling us to be enlightened and the highest form of ourselves so that we can create God's kingdom on this earth, or at least a little part of it. And so let God have what is God's, right? God is the author of life and death. Let the vengeance be the Lord's. Ladies and gentlemen, and carry on with us on to victory that is assured in this, the greatest country on earth. Have a great weekend. See ya.
Carlos Delgado. Excellent choice. Too bad I got him 3 rounds ago.
You're still on the clock.
Oh, shit!
You gotta do something.
Yeah, Hideki Matsui. Just took my whole outfield.
Sorry, Charlie.
What is this?
Wait.
What the f*** is this?
It's our fantasy baseball draft. We said no wives. I told you all about this. Got Matsui. Shit.
Hey, don't let the door hit you in the vagina on the way out.
The biggest ships in the sea, all owned by the oldest kings, and their dying legacy, media deal weeds. Soon will the penny show come to mind. The salt from lives for fun. Leave the gold and bring the gun. We sail for number one. Show come to mind. The salt from lives for fun. Leave the gold and bring the gun. We sail for number one. The biggest ships in the sea, all owned by the oldest king.